My name's Ahmed Mohammed. I've been in the Houston market financing properties for over 2 decades, and I've helped people finance the properties of their dreams. So imagine you've just been pre-approved for the house of your dreams. You're out now shopping for a home, and you're looking at different properties, you and your realtor. And then now you find the perfect property that's got the right location, it's got the right amount of space, right amount of room count, but there's only one problem. This property has a lot of deferred maintenance. The seller of the property hadn't been able to do some of the work that's been needed even to bring it up to par to make it look like all the other properties that are out for sale. But everything else fits just so perfect. Sometimes these properties may not even be in the condition where they could be financed because of 1 or 2 major issues. So what if there was a loan program out there that allowed you to buy the property and borrow the money needed to bring it up to par? Not only that, but make the repairs and renovations to it your way. You get to pick the color of the paint, you get to pick the color of the flooring, all while enjoying the benefits of only making a down payment of 3.5% of the purchase price and the renovation cost. Imagine also not having to make a payment for the first 3 months while you're doing the work to the property until you're ready to move in, all while enjoying all the flexibilities and benefits of a standard FHA loan. The name of this program is the FHA 203K program. This program's not new. It's actually been around since 1978. And for the most part, it's not as widely used because it has historically needed a long amount of time for it to be carried out. And in most cases, when the sellers aren't willing to wait or give the buyer the ability to close on their transaction using it, it's just not an option. But fortunately, in today's mortgage market, with the technology that we have available, we can execute this loan just as fast as we can a regular FHA transaction. So this loan gives you the ability to renovate your home the way you want. You get to pick out the appliances that you want, the colors of the paint, and things of that nature. It also allows you to be able to buy a renovated home without having to pay a renovated home's price. This also keeps you from needing to be able to have to go out and buy a new construction as a solution to being able to find something that has all the new features that you're looking for. Most of the time, existing homes have cheaper taxes and don't require as much insurance or HOA expenses as a new construction might. All while keeping in mind that you're allowed to borrow up to 110% of the value of the property after it's repaired. Another advantage to this program is it allows you to outcompete investors in the market for these properties that need work. Most of the time when people have properties listed out on the market that need some TLC, usually only investors are the ones that are capable of coming in and making the needed repairs. But these investors have to turn a profit and usually can't afford to pay as much for these properties as some of these sellers would like, therefore making your offers more competitive than theirs. So here's an example for you with numbers so you can follow along. Let's say you're pre-approved for a mortgage to be able to buy a property at $320,000. Your monthly payment is $3,121.97 with a down payment of $11,200. So let's say you find the perfect home that fits all your needs and the seller's only asking $275,000 for it. This property, after making the needed repairs, is going to end up being worth $335,000. The max price and rehab cost that you're allowed to have on that property as it sits is $368,500. That's a max rehab budget of $93,500. But you're going to be limited by either the rehabilitation costs or where you qualify at most. So the max qualification for someone who's pre-approved for $320,000 would render them at $58,782, which includes a 10% contingency. This is the maximum amount that you could borrow on top of the purchase price of $275,000 in order to make the needed repairs. So this actually will move your down payment from the $11,200 to $11,682.37. At the same time, you're going to build equity of $12,900 the minute you move into the property. So in a nutshell, this program gives you more bang for your buck than if you were to go out and buy a home that was already renovated. You actually get more benefit and more financial advantage for the same dollar amount for every dollar that you make in your payment compared to something that's already been built out for you. One of the things that you got to also keep in mind is whenever you buy a property, most of the time Harris County and other counties around will tax you based at worst at the purchase price that you're making. Now, because you're purchasing the property for its depreciated cost, let's say, you're not having to worry about the county taxing you for all the renovations you're making within that first year. In fact, if you apply for your homestead exemption, they're going to be limited to not being able to increase your taxes more than 10% per year. So call me today and let's start the journey together to help you get your dream home.